Let's welcome everybody. Today is Friday. We're doing another dev stream in a very noisy office, and today we're going to be looking at the changes to the skill system that we've got planned for the near-ish future. Craig, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've got planned?
Alright, so the brief overview, well, I guess, I don't know, you want to start with why we're doing this, or do you want to just talk about what it is, or what?
We can start with why. That's good. Why do you think the system needs overhauling in the first place? Is an important place to start.
Okay, well, so one of the issues we're trying to solve with this system is to basically solve the problem of players not wanting to play, in that they would acquire the skills and then wait for their skill points to accrue before actually taking part in whatever the skill they unlocked did. So, like, for instance, players would take, like, carpentry, but then before they would actually do anything carpentry related, they felt required to put the skill points into, like, their efficiency skills and stuff to get them up to the max level before they would actually, like, do anything carpentry related. Because doing stuff earlier on before you had those skills would mean, like, a loss in efficiency. And since the only way of gaining those skills was essentially to wait for your skill points, which was just tied to food and housing, that's what they did. They just would just log in, eat their food, and then leave. So we're trying to address that with these changes. Um, and also, like, the efficiency and speed skills in general are kind of like, I don't want to say, like, I guess they are like leftover from, like, previous iterations of the skill system. Before we had these specializations, we put in the efficiency and the speed skills to, like, encourage people to specialize, but we once we added the specialization system, they weren't as necessary, but they were still in the game. So I guess this change will remove. It doesn't necessarily remove them; it just changes them.
Sure. So we're sort of bringing them up to date with the other content that we've been adding.
Yeah. So I guess the main change now is that when you gain specialization, all right, should we just go into everything that's
Yeah,
changed
go
now?
for it.
Because all right, so that is kind of annoying when I middle click. It closes the UI. Okay, well, give me a second because I gotta change my keybind again. So the new change is that instead of gaining skill points, I mean, you still gain skill points in the same way that you've always gained skill points, which essentially boils down to eating proper food and having a nice house. So, like, I mean, for example, right now mine's 20, but that's just because that's the base, and then I have 0 for housing because I don't really have a house. But I can eat this bread, and it still goes up. You still see this plus 52, which is your skill points per day, although we are kind of going to relabel that. In fact, it's reflected in some of the tooltips. Anyways, we can look at the nutrition thing, and it tells us. So I've tentatively renamed this profession experience, but that might change. Essentially, you're going to gain points up to levels in which you gain a single point to put into a specialization. So whereas before specializations were costed a certain amount of skill points, that's still true, but now you can think of it kind of like an experience bar. So like your first specialization will take like 20, and the next one will take 50, and at those points you can pick a new specialization to get. So at the start of the game I have one.
So it's all
And
about getting access to new areas, not improving the ones that you have already at this point.
yeah, at least that's how the nutrition is going to work. And so if I look at this tooltip right now, obviously this tooltip is not final. It says I will get my next progression point in 0.2 days, and I have 3 out of 10. And since I'm getting 52 a day, you can kind of guess how fast that will go. So now, when you open up your skills panel, you can see all the professions. They're laid out identical to how they were before. It's like carpentry, chef, whatever. So I decided I want to be a carpenter. Uh, and the specializations are also still the same. So we still have hewing, logging, lumber, etc. And right now I just have them all showing. But so let's say I decide I want hewing. So I go to hewing, and right now this UI is getting changed, but I'll just learn it. It'll tell me learning this will use one of my one progression points, and it will also lower my specialty experience gain. But I still only have one; it just keeps the same. So now, when you learn specializations, you'll have this entirely separate UI, which I guess I should explain how that's going to work. But anyway, so now, as soon as I skill this, which is hewing, I have a 50% bonus to cutting logs. And I won't have to assign any points to that. So as soon as I've decided, hey, I'm going to specialize in this thing, you get a large bonus to it. And you don't have to think like, oh, I now have to like invest points later into it. That's just not how it works anymore. Um, I guess I didn't show how much things cost before, but I can hover over these things and it says, oh, hewing 1 decreases log cost by 50%.
Right on.
So the thing about specialties now is that they still do level up. So, but instead of putting like your skill points into them, they level up through using them. So, for instance, this one says like it decreases log by 50, and max level is 55%. So as I hew logs, my bonuses will increase. So instead of waiting to get better at hewing logs, you now have to hew logs to get better at hewing logs. Sort of like one of the concerns we had with this was that it would stop players who like can't play as much, because now this introduces like the sort of, oh, you need to like level up your skills by doing them, but the range in which these benefits are a lot like more squished, whereas before it was like 20% to 80, it's now 50 to 80. So hopefully that offsets that. The other thing to help with that is that as I acquire more specialties, let me just give myself some skill points here. So as I acquire more specialties, the rate at which I gain experience in the specialties will decrease. And the rate at which you gain specialties, or experience in the specialties, sorry, the terminology is confusing because it's not locked down at all. So when I say profession, I mean like, when I say specialty, I mean the things you've spent a point in to unlock. So, and those level up through their own experience. And that experience is multiplied by your nutrition. So having a better diet or having a nicer house or some combination of the two will increase the rate at which you level up your profession. So like, say I'm a hewer and I want to level up my hewing faster to get to the maximum cap, I can make a nicer house or eat better food and it will go up faster. The other influence on that is the number of specialties you have. So if I have, right now I have one specialty and I have a 2.6 times multiplier for experience. That's just because I ate some bread and bread's pretty good. So let's take another one. Let's say I want a log as well to go with that. So now it says I will use one of my 4 special. I gave myself a bunch of points. So and my gain will go from 2.6 to 1.3. So it's a pretty significant drop. This is mostly to help people catch up, because if you just join a new server and you pick up one of the new specializations, you can catch up to the people who have like spent more time on the server, because you'll have a higher gain multiplier, hopefully, because you'll have less specialties. This is sort of normalized by getting new food. So throughout the game, you'll probably have a specialty experience multiplier of about 1. That's kind of how it's balanced right now. But newer players might have a higher one. So this will just go down. And yep.
So Evis was asking, how will this work with skill points per action or craft? Currently, my server runs off action and craft for about 7% of our skill gain. And then, yeah.
Yeah, so basically as it is now, skill point, well, okay, in the first place, skill point per craft and skill point per action were not, they were added because people wanted them. And they weren't ever like, I don't want to say, I mean, skill points per action is just like heavily abusable, so I'm not even, yeah. But those are now sort of integrated into the experience, in that you get your specialty and then you'll get experience within those specific specialties for doing those actions. So like I have hewing or whatever, or logging. So by cutting down a tree, I'll gain experience for cutting down trees. It doesn't give me overall experience, so I won't get any more specialties by cutting down trees. I'll just get experience related to cutting down trees. But those options will still be in the game. So I guess if you want people to unlock specializations faster by doing actions, that'll still exist. But it was never part of our.
And so, just to be clear, there's not going to be any way to get better at cutting down trees other than cutting down trees. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you don't cut down trees, you'll never gain any skill in cutting down trees. You'll just have you'll have the bonus, the default bonus of, for logging, it's 14% calorie consumption and 40% damage. But if you cut down a bunch of trees, like I don't know if I can actually cut down enough trees here for it to make a difference, but eventually I will level up. and then I will become better at cutting down trees. Although I guess if I have a chainsaw, I don't really need to be better at cutting down trees.
That's a whole different issue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, so that's the same with all of the crafting professions. Like, so in order to get better at making hewn logs, you have to hew logs. If you want to get better at cooking, you gotta cook food. There is no other way in the game to do that. You can't spend your skill points like that anymore. These skill points are exclusively for unlocking new specializations.
Are there any worries about a new player coming to an established server not being able to sell the things that they make? If you want to like specialize in furniture and there's someone at max efficiency, you it would presumably you'd have to make a lot of furniture before you could be competitive. And if you can't sell it in the meantime, that's just like a lot of furniture sitting around.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Well. Okay. Well. Anyways, I'll answer that in a second. But I just want to point out that I did level up to logging too. We should have something in the game to make that more obvious, but for now, it did happen. We obviously have to go through and balance the rates at which experience is gained through certain actions. As far as new players, um, I'm sort of hoping that the specialty experience gain. So like if you join a new server or an old server as a new player and you come in and you want to like make chairs, and there's like two other people on the server who've been making chairs for a while. If they've been on the server for a while, chances are they have multiple specializations. Like I don't know, they make chairs and they make lumber. And you as a new player coming in, you decide you want to make chairs just because. So you take hewing as your specialization and you start making chairs. Because you only have that one specialization, your multiplier will be higher, so you should be able to get up to maximum efficiency faster basically. I mean, chances are they're already at max, but you should have that opportunity to get up there at a quicker rate than they did originally, which should bring you up to speed faster. That's the only real catch-up mechanic that's in there right now. Uh, but that should apply to basically every profession for a new player.
so is there anything else with the new skill system that's going to be interesting?
Um. Oh yeah. So we do have a plan to introduce what we're gonna call talents. Um. Basically, at certain. So right now, there's just because of how the math worked out, there's 7 levels to every specialization has 7 levels. Uh. So the plan is to introduce 3 different tiers of talents to bring the total levels up to 10.
And
Um.
what are talents going to be?
So talent the point of talents, well, the goal of the talent system is to basically give the levels up a little bit more meaning. So right now you just get kind of a tiny number advantage. So let's say I like cut down a bunch of trees. Now I'm like, oh yay! Now I cut down trees. I do 50% damage instead of 40. It's like those small number changes, while important, are not like super exciting. So the idea behind talents are to a little bit further diversify people who are in the same uh, specializations, and then also give you like sort of things to work towards as you're playing. So none of these are implemented in the game right now. In fact, that's kind of what I'm going to be doing next. But some examples are. Oh, wait, hold on. I totally have a document for this.
Is saying it's literally directed at the type of game I play. Have set up to be active and playing. Yeah, so that's again, we want people to be playing. We don't want people to be just sort of log in, eat food, wait for skills to level up. Um,
Okay.
okay, got your skills.
We got. Okay, so
Talents.
for examples, for like if say I have the gathering specialization, so I've decided to focus on gathering, whether or not you're farming or not. So an example of the talents there would be picking natural resources gives more resources, or picking planted resources gives more. Uh, and so when you pick these talents, it's not you can get both. You have to pick one or the other. So in this instance, you would be determining whether or not you wanted to go around and harvest stuff from the natural environment or pick planted ones. There's some more extreme ones. For logging, we have uh, axes just basically critting, removing tree debris costing less. Uh, for mining, we have no large rock chunks anymore.
That seems really nice.
Yeah, I mean that's something I wanted in anyways. So, but there's a lot of stuff like that. For crafting professions, we have some that make tables operate faster when they're alone versus operate faster when they're with tables of a similar type. So picking those would kind of determine either you would pick those determined by how you built or how you want to build. So say you decide like, oh, I want to like I would rather have like a small house with like each room individually tailored to like this is my milling room and I have like a mill. Then maybe you want to take one that's just like, hey, now when my mill is by itself in its nice room, it goes a lot faster. Versus I would like to have 7 mills all in an array, so you take the talent that just makes them go faster when it's with similar crafting tables. So we're kind of trying to make them so that they kind of either are informed by the way you play or slightly change the way you play.
Okay, and also this is slightly off topics, but Mercs. For seeds, yeah, we are working on more seeds and things for trees.
Farming
So
system,
that's
yeah.
something that we'll have coming up soon. Farming system, I'm not sure about so
Oh,
soon.
we can actually. I can talk about
Oh, please do.
the seeds. So, we're planning on changing it so that trees will drop their own type of debris. So when I cut down this fir tree, it will. I mean, right now it drops like its generic debris that everyone's seen everywhere. It looks like tree debris, but every tree type will have its own debris. So like when I destroy this, this will have its fir debris. You'll have to pick up this debris instead of like whacking it with your axe and magically turning it into pulp. You're gonna pick it up, and when you pick it up, you're gonna gain whatever tree specific materials that it would provide. So, for instance, for this fir tree, you would get fir seeds, or and then you would also get the actual debris, which you then have to take and process down into something else if you want to, or you can just store it somewhere and let it rot. So that's the plan for seeds, and that'll be applied to every tree. So that includes, so you don't have to jump around on top of like these cedar trees and like cut their branches off like you were doing before. This this,
There's
this is also kind of a weird way to get seeds in the first place. Just,
yeah, not intuitive.
yeah.
So I guess we've sort of covered most of the skill system. Are there any going to be new skills or new areas that we're going to add skills that we haven't had existing ones?
I don't think there's anything major coming on that front. I'm hoping cutting edge cooking will get in. I mean, it's been in the game for a long time. There's a couple items associated with it, but there's no actual food in that tier. Ah, yeah, the crops. Okay, so we're changing. I don't really have any solid plans on how farming will change in the future, but it's definitely going to get a look at.
Yeah, Merx is also saying the farm system, fruit and crops and such. It's not very intuitive. Also, aqueducts.
Aqueducts. Well, I know pipes are coming at some point. Clearing branches and trees. Yes. I mean, I mean, the way it works currently is it just as long as you're reducing the size of the things hitting the ground, it will. So it should still do that. Yeah, I'm not sure about. I don't really, not really sure what we're planning for farming yet, but there's definitely going to be something changing there, especially since. Yep.
Yeah.
Will it cost the same? Yes. It's still going to be really expensive to pick up. That's intentional.
Yeah, turns out trees are heavy, really heavy.
Yeah. Well, the debris. Yeah, the debris is also heavy.
Yeah, like
It's supposed to wreck your calories. Remember, it's optional. You don't have to clean up yourself. You can just leave it scattered everywhere.
it'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. Or you can pass laws and pay people. You know, what a lot of shows I've noticed have been doing is either finding people for chopping down trees and then paying them, or finding them if the chopped down trees not on their property or something similar. How high is your tree killing level right now?
Haven't really killed them anymore. It's still 2.
I still do not quite. Oh,
Yeah, so right here, I mean, this bar is actually supposed to indicate it. I mean, I just broke this, but there's, I mean, I guess you can kind of see them here. Ignore these icons; they're 100% placeholder. But there are supposed to be icons to tell you what you're getting at these levels, and there are here. This bar does move up, but yeah, like I said, it's not. But yeah, I'm still level 2, and I think, I mean, the rate at which you gain experience is definitely right now it's pretty high. I guess there is the worry that like if you make it too low, people are just gonna entire world trying to level up their logging. But
Yeah, and that's because there's no other way to get points. That's it's gonna be interesting to balance that.
yeah.
Does anyone in chat have questions? Because we've been getting a few, but I think we've mostly covered what we came here to talk about. So I think like if we're just sort of here to hang out for a little bit and answer questions, and then we'll probably call it because today is Friday. And yeah, happy hour calls.
Oh yeah, that does include cactuses. I mean, I don't know if cactuses are still gonna drop wood. In fact, I don't think they are. But
But they seem to dump water all over. Just be a huge mess.
man, dumping water places is not not always good.
Oh. Well,
Like,
turns out it's actually
I mean,
Jello.
it's like like I don't know. Water could use a look at, but it's hard.
Also, it's wrecking the bit rate because, oh my god, all the animations and textures and transparencies.
I'll just look at the ground.
So Dean to the Shy's got
Oh,
saying,
I mean, we can talk about that
yeah,
party design
go for it.
now, but so I mean, I haven't done anything on the new demographics or a lot of things, but I know there's some stuff. The government, so like the government's gonna be able to own property. There's law things associated with that, stuff like that. I don't know. I know demographic stuff is kind of planned, but I don't know if that's coming at all. And that would just be like grouping people in groups and assigning laws to them.
Yeah, no, the government property was a big deal for a few people just because you often want to be able to give, the elected leader the ability to do things and then have that pass. And currently, there's not really a way to do that. So that's going to be exciting.
Paying into the treasury.
Indeed. I'm okay saying I think it's found a bug that all lamps are 250 watts except for streetlights, which are 100.
Oh, lamps. Yeah, yeah. So you're telling me you want street lamps to cost 250, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
um, yeah. I mean the power requirements of a lot of things are whack, and I mean that's my fault. But yeah, open a bug, unless there's already one open, in which case already.
Yeah.
John, do you know? John, do you know if you can pay into treasuries? Is that something that you're gonna add? You can. Okay. Yes. John is personally going to add the ability to pay into treasuries
It's official now.
at some point. At some point in the future, soon. TM.
Yeah, so and then we've got some good pro and anti-government property mining things. Yeah, that'll be a fun thing for you guys to figure out.
Yeah. There's also like laws that let you seize people's property now. So if you are going to be really hardcore, just don't let anyone place tailings or take everything they own.
So this is sort of looking into the future for content that we haven't released yet, but seizing property is going to be very helpful for enforcing loans that we've added, and I'm going to post a piece on those in a little bit. And also, there's a server who has a very interesting system set up where they back their money with land, basically, and thus they can give out loans and enforce them by confiscating land if the loans aren't repaid. So, adding some of these tools is going to give a little bit of some tools to do judicial punishment for not following things or doing things. Oh, Dean Too Shy is saying that they'd love if the engineering skills were separated up a bit more.
Separated up. I mean, we can look into that. So the thing right now with skills is that cooking by far has the most. That's actually been kind of reduced since we did make the first. Oh, you want to like not just be just have the giant stuff. But anyway, so like we did reduce that by making the first level cooking baseline and stuff, but the rest of the skill trees are just in general kind of sparse. As far I'm not sure like we can separate it that far because I mean I guess we could, but for the most part, most of the skill trees, the specializations, like a variety of things, and just road working. I guess road working is a pretty big project, so we could specialize in specifically that, but in the end, that only covers like, and it's not even like a full action. That's the thing. Like if the reason why like mining can theoretically stand on its own is because throughout the entire game you're mining, right? But later on, when you're building roads, you're not using the road tamper. You're still just creating roads. You like eventually you graduate from using road tamper into like crafting the roads and placing them. But so like right now, basic engineering covers that niche. So I mean, we could rename it, but just splitting it off is like tamping doesn't really work right now.
There's not a lot of fascinating gameplay involved in putting down road.
I don't know. I like putting down roads.
Sure, but like, I mean, what are your talents? Gonna be like put down 2 roads at once, or like auto replace? I mean, like it would be hard to make a full tree. I think on just placing roads. Maybe we could do it.
Taming and breeding animals is definitely something we want to add. There's, I mean, yeah. I mean, I definitely don't think it's coming soon, but it is something we want.
There's lots of things we'd love to add, but right now we've got to focus on a few things. And right now, things like the skill rework and general optimization, some more trees. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we do. I do plan on integrating items from other professions into other professions, especially cooking. I really want to push other professions being able to input into cooking because right now, as it is, you like it's pretty one-sided in that relationship. Everybody needs food, but the cooks don't really need any. So I think the later food we want to require stuff, whether it's like pots and pans from the metal workers or like I don't know plastic stuff like that. That's
Okay.
something that's gonna end up happening.
So are we gonna make Soylent? You have to get a plastic bottle.
Yeah, you gotta get a bottle, blend up mysterious ingredients.
But it's the perfectly balanced food.
New structure machine vehicles. Structure machines vehicles? Is that are those separate?
I think it's 3 separate things: structures, or machines, or vehicles. Not that I know of.
Yeah, not that I know of right now. We've got a lot more animals stuff coming.
Yeah, we have new critters. Those are gonna be great. You'll definitely hear more about those from me.
Tunnels. So you want like the drill thing? I'm not sure on the status of any of that stuff right now. Yeah. Yeah, that is definitely something. Yeah, because right now all the trucks, and this also applies to world objects, which is like the kitchen. Once you place it down, it never any updates or anything. So I think that also applies to getting other professions involved with each other. Is having stuff like that in the game, where like you might need new tires for your truck, which would then put some pressure on like whatever rubber production stuff like that. As opposed to them just being like, oh, now you have a truck, now you never have to worry about it again, except for maybe fueling it sometimes.
Yeah, so I guess so there's going to be a focus in the future of making there'll be less classes where you just sort of do it once and don't care, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. When might we see boats? Boats. I'm not sure when we'll see boats, but hopefully soon.
No, we're probably not going to let you steal the wheels off trucks. That is you have to.
I don't know if you have permission to somebody's truck. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to take their wheels.
But if you have permission, by definition, you're not stealing.
Yeah, that's true. All right, yeah.
You have a friend who's not very smart if they gave you permission to steal their wheels or take their wheels, but it's not technically stealing. That's on them. And yeah, then you'd probably also be able to take out the doors and the hood, and because yeah, the engines are expensive and hard to build. So like stealing that internal combustion engine would be good.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ego Chop Shop. That's going to be the sequel that we work on. What are you doing right now, Craig?
I'm just, powered cart. Yeah, the powered cart is going to be phased out. The powered cart won't exist in a future update at all.
So what's going to replace it, or what's going to?
So the steam truck is replacing the powered cart, and in fact, they're both now. But powered cart is going to get removed. Change it to a bike. I don't know if we're gonna change it to a bike. I think right now it's just gonna go poof. And I know Keegan doesn't really like the art for it. Planning a new use for tailings. Yes, there's definitely there's been a lot of people who don't like having more tailings because there's definitely more tailings, but we are planning on ways for you to reuse them. I'm not sure when that's gonna happen, but that's we're not planning on just leaving them in there as like awful blocks that just exist forever. But how can you dig underneath the truck? Because presumably they parked it in their own
Uh,
property, and then
maybe
you can't
not.
dig in
Maybe
their property.
maybe you have a store so people come to sell things to you, and when they're
Oh, and then you
selling,
like trap. You just trapdoor, and so you
yeah,
just
exactly.
yes, slag. Blast furnace. Oh, you said it will be yes. The blast furnace will get slag. I don't have any idea how that will be implemented, but it will come out of the blast furnace instead of tailings.
And presumably going to roads and maybe some other stuff. Well, we'll see. We'll see what
Yeah.
works out. That's a. AMS is asking if we can make asphalty roads black rather than the color of concrete. That's something we can run by Keegan. Maybe you should. Okay, so Keegan is
All right.
saying definitely yes.
Yeah, asphalt roads will look better, and if not, you can blame Keegan.
Yes, he promised. Technically on stream. Contra is saying that they want us to leave Keegan alone so he can just focus on doing diable blocks. I'm not sure where those show up on the roadmap. I might not hold my breath. Diable
You want to be
blocks.
able to color blocks.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff. Don't worry, a lot of stuff is coming. As we touched on earlier, government property and some other similar things will be coming up soon. What are you going to do with these logs, Craig? They're just killing trees.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna build society up.
Oh, so we're in here for the long haul is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You got your eco lint. You'll be set for a while.
Yeah, I can win. I've got 15,000 skill. Look, I'm gonna get this next skill point. Look, I already got it. Look, 0 days. It's taking me 0 days. I don't have a hammer.
Golden Dragon is asking, what about using T1 blocks in late game, i.e., as ingredients?
Using 2 blocks late games is one of the ingredients. Uh, yeah, that definitely could be done. I think that will become more important to integrate in the tree with this change specifically, because we want people to get benefits from having that like early hewing. So for sure that will definitely be a thing.
Is there going to be a general push towards making sure that most skills, at least, are somewhat relevant later in the game?
Yeah. Obviously, some will be more important than others, but oh, look, I got a beautiful room.
That technically, yes.
This room has a bigger volume than one.
Um, uh, Amurx is saying since the last patch, trees are not as good in pollution reduction as they used to be. Intended or bug? I thought trees were
That's intended.
okay.
So pretty much every single plant got a pollution change. That includes pretty much every plant got changed. Most of them down, but that's just because of the squish in general. Before everything was capped, and pretty much everything would hit the capped value. So the actual pollution values on the plants was almost irrelevant. But that got changed, so now everything's the balance is a lot like I don't know what's the word like delicate. It's a lot more delicate. So if you remove a ton of plants, it might make. Also, cutting down trees releases some CO2. Um, so
Mm,
you'll see a tiny bit of air pollution early on because of that.
but it shouldn't.
Yeah. And the reason why underwater plants don't reduce CO2 right now is because our underwater biome is like super weird, and there's just like an insane amount of them everywhere.
And so like
So that was kind of like a balance issue, was trying to get them to do things and not just be completely out of control.
just because with the number, I assume that if they would do CO2, it would make whatever you did on the land kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, so I mean I messed with putting them really small values, but in the end just setting them is fine. So they don't do anything right now. And I mean you're welcome to tweak the settings on your server if you would like to try other things. And I'm always interested to hear about that.
Yeah, I must have saying I decorate my dock with fish traps, and the fish apparently jump out of the water into my traps. I think fish traps are very good. This is maybe not how they're intended to be very good, but this is very good. Oh yes, something on tail ends which has been sort of a soft spot for people for a while. There's been a little bit of a bug where we get about twice as many tail ends as expected with the efficiency, and that is something
Uh,
that we're working on.
well, that's yeah. So that change already went in. I don't know when we'll see a hotfix, but that's actually the problem, which is that like the system doesn't handle partial amounts of tailings really well. Like if you have a recipe gives you 0.5, it just gives you 1 because like what's 0.5 tailing? Like if you craft, even if you craft 2, it does it one at a time. So when it finishes the first one, it's like, oh, here's your iron, and then here's 0.5 tailings, but it doesn't know what 0.5 tailings is, so it just gives you 1. So currently the hotfix change is just it just doubles the recipe, so you can't make 1 iron ingot in the blast furnace right now. We'll probably come up with a better solution to that, but for now that's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah, it should work. Like there's not.
Oh, these are in here. Bet you people do these work?
Oh, hey, that's a thing. Yeah, spoilers.
Oh, they do work. All right. Well, that's interesting. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, this is something we've been working on for a while because it turns out the animation is hard.
Should I go into third person? Look how perfect that is.
That is really good.
Oh no. All right, but anyways, these are here. It's beautiful.
And that was just another type of wood block, so those are very easy and accessible, and yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know these were in this. These are cool. I wonder if there's. Okay, if these aren't in here, then it's my fault.
If what's on in?
The different ladder forms. Oh no, they're here. All right, cool. So, yeah, I think you can build them out of anything. Oops, I looked at that one, but actually, I don't know if you can. Okay, no, I don't remember what you're allowed to build, but the very minimum logs.
But something to look forward to. This will be this will make some structures much easier to make.
What'd you say? Yeah, I'm in third person. Oh yeah, I was doing that at the beginning. I guess there's new animations on the character as well.
Oh yeah, we didn't
When
properly
you
show that
edit.
off.
You can see my beautiful handcrafted character here.
My eyes are bleeding right now. These colors are
Change the
astonishing.
shirt. It looks fantastic shirt. My belt. Change my shoes. And I guess my hair. Cool.
It's a lot less comfortable when you got a hammer in your hand, but that's, yeah, more animations. So Everest, yeah, so we need more videos. There's a lot of things to update, so it's working on the game first and keeping things working there. But yeah, we will be producing more video content and new trailers and whatnot in the near future. Can you put the place climbers as you climb down?
I don't know. Oh no. Okay, well, I'm not gonna build a ladder up there. This is gonna take fun. But yeah.
Okay, so I feel like now we've really covered
Yeah.
almost everything we've got coming up. Is there anything else that people have questions about, or that Craig that you've thought of that we've forgotten about up until now?
Yeah. Somebody did mention that Mason needs more stuff. So I've always been of the opinion Masonry has this problem where it doesn't have enough housing objects, which is true. But I mean that's not something that's super easy to fix. But the problem with wood is that they just don't even have higher tier material. Like wood caps out at lumber. So once you get to lumber, you're just like, oh, now I can make tier lumber for the rest of my life. Whereas stone gets concrete. Um, I guess wood does have the benefit of having those housing objects, but ideally they would both be useful later on.
So at some point,
Yeah, so it's stone bed.
yeah, that's called a coffin. Like, I don't recommend that. Or I guess the slab in the morgue. Like, but these are not great resting places. But so,
Oh man, wait. Do the mount spots work? Sean is sitting in chairs in here.
oh, well, we do have more cool things.
Maybe I don't. That's fine. Sit. Oh oh uh, a.
Backpack, the backpack clips a little bit, but it's all good. Some people like to squish the backpacks.
Uh oh. Well, there's a little bit of things to be worked out there, but
Yeah. Oh, and this we aren't launched. We still have time to work on it.
what? No, I don't think so. I just get up and I can move around. Anyways,
Oh, actually,
I was hoping I could get on top of the elk, to be honest.
that's true. Sitting on the elk is very important. Also, this is very important. Do we have more stuffed animals or more variations of the stuffed elk? Like maybe one that uses stone or something gold. You know?
uh, you want a gold-studded elk?
Yes.
You have to bring that up with the artist.
Okay. Well, we'll get on that.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see some form of stone ladder.
Oh yeah, and saying also more stuff with copper. Yeah, I think copper doesn't have a huge amount of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mushrooms. Yeah, riding animals and taming animals would be is something we want to do, but it's not next up on the red map. That guy is very smug.
I'm gonna edit right now. Oh yeah, is that in here too? All right, go show that off.
We're just spoiling all of the upcoming features.
Uh, all right. Oh, yes, it does.
Floating room.
Oh, I actually. What's happening? Oh,
Well, this might not be fully implemented.
I may have broken it.
Contributed.
All
It's
right,
not.
well, this does work. I'll just restart.
So it's not. We don't need gold roads. We just need yellow brick roads. They're like
See,
gold
to get a
roads.
stock one to make a stockpile one way for crafting tables. Do you mean like take out and put into another? I already got my gold statue in the game. I guess it's not made of gold, but that dolphin statue.
Delta Sage is pretty good. Who's got the head on the meteor again?
John, I don't think that's there anymore though.
Is it not? Okay. Thought it was.
So yeah, I guess. So right now you can kind of reorder order in which your things are there for crafting. So if you want, I mean, most. I guess this. To be fair, this isn't exactly what you need because I guess there's a lot of times where you would want something to never take first from the thing it's outputting to. But if you put the thing you want outputting to at the top, that's usually good enough because most things don't use things they output, except for like, I mean, I guess a bunch of them do. So yeah,
Also, Contributor, or is it, Golden Jay was saying, I want one function, import, export, text editing for laws. That would be nice. Um, yeah.
all right, let's. Okay, I'm gonna press the sleep button. It's totally maybe.
Maybe it's not functioning very well in this
Oh,
build.
wait, it's going. It's going.
Oh, it's picking up speed. Okay.
Yeah, it goes. It slowly goes faster. Oh man, I picked a really bad spot. I like put this in the middle of the air, so you like can't even see anything flapping.
Yeah.
Oh right. Oh, I can put that.
Yeah. So
Is there a
it's really
chat command to
cool,
turn day off?
except we turned off all of the cool looking features.
Does that work? Should I put it 24? 48? Ah, okay, here we go. There we go. So this is primary for single player, but it does work on multiplayer. Don't know. It's gonna be off by default. Is that the idea? And then if you, yeah. So the main issue with this is on like public servers is that if there's only one person online, they can sleep. So the idea is that it'd be used by like, smaller communities who want this sort of feature in their game. But it's primarily for single player. And you get skill points faster. Like, I mean, I'm getting a ton of them. Yep. Yeah, it's good skill. Weren't you listening to the beginning of the stream, Eric? All right. Oh, okay, I'm gonna wake up. Oh no, I can't wake up. Okay. Well, the wake up thing's not currently working correctly, but the sleep does work. So.
Oh, Crazy Pete is saying, yeah, he wants to make a chain where it goes from stone to sand to glass or something, so he doesn't want the sand to go back into the glass stockpile. Doesn't want
Yeah.
backflow.
Yeah. So the thing is that at least in that instance, yeah, that might be kind of hard with only one. Yeah, that might be hard with only like a couple. You could like put them in a line. You could be like stockpile table, stockpile table, stockpile, and then you just make sure that the sand is the middle stockpile is the highest priority for the. Say the stone would be on the first stockpile, and then the first masonry table would grind that stone into sand, which would then be priority put into the middle stockpile, and then the second masonry table would take from the middle pile and priority put it into the last one for glass. Or I guess it'd be like a kiln, but you could do that with the current system. I do think being able to specify input output, but how it is now allows that sort of stuff, sort of. Government owned shops. Oh yeah, so since the government, so basically how it works is when you've been elected leader, get out of this crazy. When you've been elected leader, you can choose to act as a government. That means like claiming property becomes government property, and if you like make a shop, it will run directly from the treasury. Uh, so you can have government-owned shops that run directly through the treasury. You can have government-owned land, and that means if somebody else gets elected, they'll be able to use all that stuff as well.
Yeah, Contrapedia, Golden Jig is right. So this is the sleep function is mostly for single player. I think as John was saying, I don't know if it got picked up well. Like this is not going to be enabled by default on public servers. You'd have to like enable it and then still probably vote on it and have everyone opt in. So it's yeah, we don't. This is just for single player intended.
The functionality isn't there for like if your private server does want that, it should work for that as well. But the intention is not for like you to be able to log into a public server and just like go to sleep, and then everybody wakes up and the meteors hit and everyone's sad.
Though this is also probably a good reminder to save your servers. Like things happen, save your servers.
On my land.
So Evis has also got another good question. Then he plans to add the option on my land to let people hunt without giving them full access to my land.
I don't know. I feel like that would be useful. I wonder if you can. I'm not the right person to ask about auth stuff, but
Same.
right, this is unowned. Let me claim this real quick. I guess there's nobody else here. Oh, here I can give. Oh, look, there is demographics in here. I am a citizen.
Oh, that's true
Ah,
because you slept. The time has gone by, so you've been here more than 2 hours.
well, let's see. I was just gonna see if I can. All right, well, that's interesting. I didn't actually realize these, but uh, yeah, I'm not the right person to ask about that. I would assume more complex auth would be nice to have, although I don't think it's being specifically worked on right now. Yeah. Oh, we already did with the government property and
Yeah.
demographics and stuff.
So, so we might get there eventually. Right now, we've got other specific things we're working on. So, you know how it goes. Eva's just saying at the moment they use contracts. So I'm actually sort of curious what sort of contract that looks like to let people hunt on your lands. But so Craig, so what are you working on right now? What is trying to set up?
Oh no, I was just looking at the demographic stuff. It's just not.
Okay.
Not Let's see if there's anything else. Plans to capture and breed animals. A farm. I mean, yeah, we've always had plans for animal husbandry and stuff like that. But I don't have a. I have no idea when that will happen.
Yeah, that's not on the immediate docket of things that we're going to do. Okay, so I feel like we've covered a lot of things. Unless there's any very pressing questions, I think we should probably wrap up in the next minute or two. Craig, do you have any closing thoughts on things that people should look out for, or things you want to say?
I don't think so. It's gonna be great. Skills gonna be awesome, and if you have feedback once they're out there, I guess I would encourage people to play the staging branch when it gets pushed out for 9.0. And if you do play that, I would love to hear your feedback on skills, and you can just message me directly on Discord. I might not answer immediately, but I will try to answer.
Yeah, and generally poking any of us on Discord. I'm always open on Discord, and or Discord's good. Facebook and Twitter are options, but mostly just poke us on Discord.
Uh, oh, so you want to be able to, like, whitelist certain like materials going into specific stockpiles, basically, right? That's what it sounds like. That would be cool.
I,
What happened to 8.0? 8.0 is still coming.
Yeah, so adding logic to stockpiles could get really complex, but would also potentially do some really interesting things. So start playing Factoria with your goods. I guess that's pretty much everything. So thank you everyone for hanging out with us for over an hour of us rambling on about things that you can find in Eco and the upcoming changes. Definitely talked about a few more things than we were planning to at the start, but it's all good. The important thing is skill systems, ladders, and a lot of upcoming little changes. The ladders are important, especially with that animation. Um, cool. Well, thank you for joining us. We will probably be back here next Friday at about the same time, same place. So see everybody next week, and also on Discord because that's where we live.